You stay someplace for 40 years, you do it for love of the game, love of the school, love of the kids there, and that's Ed McQuade, the all-time leader in softball victories in Arizona. He's stepping down as the head coach at Greenway. He joins us.
40? How old are you?
Happy retirement, Coach McQuade, and congrats on the 40 years as softball coach for the Greenway.
40 years as the Greenway head coach. I think that McQuade's done a phenomenal job. I think that the record book proves that.
That's 840 years? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's probably like 2,700 losses.
No. 800 wins. That's amazing. I'm not sure who's even close to that anywhere. So that's an amazing accomplishment, and I'm proud to have been part of that to help you get to that point with a lot of those wins and some really great teams that I was a part of.
800 wins over 40 years. Now, if we average that out, that's a better winning percentage than Bobby Cox, Tony La Russa, Connie Mack, and even my man Joe Torre.
I think it's crazy. I was really old.
1,800, almost 2,000 players and their families that you've impacted.
Ed, 800 wins. That's pretty awesome. I played there for 4 years, and I would think that was a small contribution to 800. To me, what that tells me is that you have brought in team after team after team just to continue the powerhouse success that we've had at Greenway.
Happy retirement. I can't believe you've been doing it for 40 years. You've been doing it right, I know, since day one, and appreciated the opportunity to get to play for you. I love you, and
congratulations on 40 years. It's just awesome. You've been here all 15 years that I've been here, and it's been great relationship. You've done a heck of a job with our program, and it is...
What does that get us to? 1978? Let's see, what was I doing in 1978? Oh, that's right, nothing, because I wasn't around yet. And as my daughter would say,
"You're old."
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
I'm Connie Clark. I played for Coach McQuade back in the early 80s. Graduated in 83 with 2 state championships in 82 and 83. And obviously that the credit has to go to the great coaching that we received. Absolutely. And
'cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air.
State championship game. It was 2 outs, runner at first base, last hitter of the game, 3-0 count. I look over at the dugout. I see Coach Mike and McQuade not happy. I decide to throw 3 strikes in a row, struck her out to win the 2008 state championship.
Niggas in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Yes, I can proudly say that I coached alongside him at Kellis High School 3 years ago, the night that he got his 800th win.
I did not know he had 800 wins, but I think I heard about every single one prior to me while I was working at Farmers in his office. But I think it's incredibly difficult, and I think that he's a great coach, and I mean, that number just shows it.
I first started coaching where our freshman field is right now, and at one time it was our varsity field for a while. It was actually the ag department, and we had cows and pigs out there, and that kind of thing. That was pretty interesting. And the field that we played on, we played winter ball, and it was Bermuda grass with 5 cutouts for the pitcher's mound and home plate and the 3 bases. And in our right field, we had hay bales where they shot archery during PE. So wooden bats, yeah, it was pretty amazing. Now to watch it, evolve over the years.
A lot in the game has changed since then. The ball's yellow now, for one.
40 years went fast, didn't it? I was here for half of them or more. I don't remember a thing, unlike you, where you remember every little detail of those 40 years, I'm sure. Love listening to your stories.
It was his stories, by far. All the stories. Still to this day.
And he tells the stories like, oh, you remember this? And no.
There was 2 outs. There was a runner on third. You were up to bat. It was the 7th inning of the game in Mojave against the team from California. He would know the name of the team, though.
Yeah, he would know every pitch.
Yeah, it was a 2-2
and where
count.
that pitcher went to college. He knew where they went. And you're like, not familiar with that.
Like an elephant. I swear, if I could remember clients' names and medications, like he could remember plays and umpires and innings from 1985, I would be a much better therapist.
Memories, well, one of the things, and I'm sure other people will say this, is that I could ask you about an inning with 2 outs 15 years ago, and you'll be able to spout off who was playing, what happened, all that kind of stuff. Your memory is still uncanny of knowing every situation.
My favorite thing about McQuade is his memory. He can remember anything, any game from yesterday to back in 1982, and who was on second and how many outs there were and what the score was. I just don't know anyone like him that can remember those things. I think it's great. And it's funny to ask him something about the past because he'll remember everything about it.
I think he's full of shit with all the stories. Favorite memory? Oh my God, how many times do I have to hear about Sandy Carnicelli or whoever is, playing at this position or is up to bat with the 3-2 count? And it's always a freaking 3-2 count too. It's never a 1-2 count. It's never an 0-2 count or anything like that. It's always a damn 3-2 count. And I think you're full of crap with these stories.
That's his infamous dirt kick.
Could be the one. There it is, number 1. The first.
Something McQuade always said was, I see too much Greenway, because our front shoulder was falling out.
But just again, I'll always remember this head motion. I don't know what's wrong with your neck, but just seeing this every game, day in, day out, was always a fun for me to watch.
It's Matt's favorite memory. And you don't pick up the signal that he's giving you. He just yells it to you. So that way everybody knows. Oh, yeah. Do you know what this is? This is a bunt. Bunt the ball.
I think of Coach McQuade, and we're in the middle of the game, and we have a runner on first, and he wants a bunt. There's none of this stuff. He would look at the hitter, so I'm the hitter, and he'd go, Panzer! And that was the bunt sign.
Ed's giving signals. I don't know if you guys know his signals, but they've been the same for 40 years. So anybody who's ever played for Ed knows the signals. This is bunt. I believe this is this hit and run?
That's the squeeze.
This is squeeze. And his most famous signal is hit away. Everybody knows that.
Usually along the lines of this. There's your zone right here. Box it. I don't care. Whatever it is that you want to do, I'm here. I know this, whatever it is that you want to do. Always, playing with your hat. I'm always remember. Oh, and then I love your squeeze sign. Who else thinks of a squeeze sign like this? It can only be you.
Obviously, I can't share the words that sometimes come out of my mouth that I learned from him, but and how animated he was. Always using his hands and everything. That's what stands out to me, let alone those pretty bike shorts and those nice high socks. Wow, Coach. But
I'm sexy and I know it. I'm sexy and I know it.
Yeah. My favorite memory is Colleen's big toe when I had to drain it and got the needle stuck in her big toe. Awesome.
I think my favorite memory with Coach McQuade was it's my freshman year, first up to bat, and I hit a home run. And as I was rounding third base, he told me I missed the bunt sign. And I can still feel that feeling in my stomach today of how nervous I was because I was a freshman and just missed the bunt sign. And everybody's cheering when I got to home. And then I went up and talked to him immediately, and he told me he was just kidding.
He would come to practice and come from work, and he only had a certain amount of time he could be there because I think he had to go back to work or go somewhere. But I think practice ended maybe at 4:30, and back then there was no cell phones, and I don't know if McQuade didn't wear a watch, but we wore watches, and we would set our clocks and watches back to make 4:30 come earlier than it really was so we could be done with practice. So not sure if he knew about that later, but we did that pretty much every practice so we could be done sooner than we were supposed to be.
I ever saw of him was when it was a picture of him and Coach also, and I was looking at it from pictures that my aunt had, and I couldn't tell what was worse, the length of Coach Also's shorts or McQuade's glasses and his mustache.
I remember that mustache, and I laughed because remember now, this was like in the late 70s when he first started there, and now all you young ones would call that like the porno mustache, and it was pretty funny, and he had the long sideburns, and he was a band geek, so you gotta love him. And
throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting.
Terry DeCarlo was going there. My first day at the tryout practice, I was scared to death of him. I wanted no part of that. And I can remember hitting and not doing well and wanting to go into the outfield and just cry because I knew he was going to.
There is one thing that Coach sent me on a mission to find during my freshman year in 1999, and I have never been able to find it, and it's been the bane of my existence ever since. Recently, it took me as far as New York to try to find. What is this mystery item, you wonder? It's the infamous softball wiffle ball. No softball wiffle balls here. I looked all around here too. There's no softball wiffle balls. She was cool, but it's not there either. I looked under there too. Wrong kind of balls. So the search continues, I guess.
My memory of Coach was one practice we were getting yelled at, and he turns around and throws the softball into the dugout and makes it in the trash.
Other favorite memories were just hanging out and talking and just watching you with the kids and seeing what a great job that you do.
Another great memory was winning the state championship in 2008 with Ed. That was really cool. I mean, it was such a thrill. I've coached at a lot of different levels, and I've had really great teams, club teams, and won a lot of big tournaments. But winning the state championship was like the pinnacle.
Dad tried to warn me the night before. I was wearing like this, I guess you'd call it romper nowadays. It was like onesie, like shorts, right? And top like a onesie though. My dad tried to warn me. He said, "You're not gonna wear that bed, are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm hot. Like, what is your deal?" Oh, okay. 3 o'clock in the morning rolls around, and varsity softball team's in my house picking me up in my Winnie the Pooh pajamas.
One memory I'll never forget is when we were at our Christmas tournament, and Carrie and Missy were playing catch, and they were goofy and fooling around most of the time, anyways. So once we saw one of them hitting the other with their glove, and their sweatshirt was on fire because we had hand warmers, and it was in the pocket of their sweatshirt, and it caught on fire somehow. So we just thought they were messing around, but then we realized something actually was happening. So not sure how you put up with us, McQuade, but we had some great times there.
His ringtone.
It was definitely best school bus rendition of Goodbye Earl by the Dixie Chicks. Voted most likely to get kicked out of a Denny's.
You are out of here.
That wasn't just me, by the way. We all got kicked out.
There tonight. I up and decided to move to Texas. Who knows why? I think I've done a lot of really weird stuff in my life. Like flip off the stands in right field my freshman year. Probably done a lot of really worse stuff, like going to a basketball playoff game when you told me to go home sick. And I'll just say that whatever I put you through, these girls
that I've had have been nothing but angels, and so I'm not really sure if I'll ever get somebody like me, but I pray that I absolutely do not. So they have a little
memory, but something I remember from playing is when we got hot for trying to cheat. We went on our run and we stopped at the picnic tables
For like 10 minutes.
For like 10 minutes just to make it look like we were gone. And we were freshmen, so we didn't speak up, but so we all got in trouble.
And am I not ready now?
We played them like, oh, but the seniors told me. Yeah.
I guess you could say is he was kind of like a big brother because, boy, he really teased us a lot, got on our butts, and called us all kinds of names. We did love him for it, and we had a success early on, and I think it kind of paved the way for all you future Demon softball players. It was a lot of fun.
Anybody who can coach teenage girls for 40 years straight. There's not a whole lot of people on this earth that have the ability to do what he did, coaching teenage girls and all the drama that goes on with them for 40 years straight.
One of my favorite memories for playing at Greenway was like the Easter egg hunt. Yeah, like you always look forward to
the memories with Ed. I just think of all the times we laughed driving in the car going to work for his insurance company.
But I also think he impacted a lot of lives off the field. I mean, he's one of the most genuine people I've ever met, and I know that he genuinely cared about every single one of his players. And so, I mean, even enough to share all of the band stories. I mean,
I really liked my dad. He was super fair. He was a very fair coach. I think his best quality is that I think he coaches with his heart. Like I don't know if you guys but like
I don't think he would coach for that.
Yeah,
He does it because he cares about every player.
800 wins, those are some awesome numbers. But the number I'm most grateful for is the number 2, and that's Jimmy and Colleen. You know, you've always been super strong on the field, but your strongest strength is father.
Always staying late, actually helping out with your practices and learning so much from you and from the other coaches around, but especially all the fun conversations that we've had. You've always taken your time to help me out with one thing or another. It didn't matter what it was, or even just taking the time to have a conversation and having, shooting the stuff basically and having fun with each other. I'll always treasure those memories. It was always a great time.
He told me like right away to be a lefty.
Oh, there you go. The rest is history.
And there you go.
800 wins, you're welcome.
Coach impacted my life in many ways, not only on the field, but off the field as well. His love for softball, as well as his love for Disney. I spent a few weekends with my family and his family at Disney. I learned a lot about Coach, and our friendship still remains. I have coached under Coach McQuade now for 4 years, and it's been fun for the most part. He showed me how to be a great coach, and I'm ready.
But I do wish that I would have played for him sooner, just so that I would have had the opportunity to coach with him longer.
Now, I've had many coaches throughout my softball life, all of them very interested in my talents and what I could do for their team, not so much interested in me. I remember hearing my travel ball teammates' horror stories about how their high school season was so terrible, and I just remember feeling the exact opposite. I always really liked going to my high school season, and most of that was due to the environment that Coach McQuade brought to the team and out to practice and out to games. He not only took interest in me as a player, but also as a person. And he always made me feel welcome and appreciated and cared about, and it was something that I always appreciated from him. So I'm really lucky to be able to call him Coach.
Never left. But I think about myself as a coach and what Ed has done, how has he impacted me as coach. And the things that I think about with Ed is that he always had high expectations. He always knew that we could do anything that we wanted to do, we just needed a push. And lots of times, especially I can remember as a high school kid, I didn't know what I was capable of. And Ed taught me I was capable of doing anything that I wanted to do. I just had to believe in myself and trust that I was good enough to do it. And I try to do the same thing with the athletes that I work with every day. Just give them that little push, give them a little confidence to know that they can do great things, that they've just got to trust. So Ed, I would tell you that I appreciate all the trust that you put in me as a player, as a person.
I've absolutely been impacted by Coach McQuade. I think not only as a young athlete when I was in high school, but took that into my playing career, into college, and now I've been coaching at the collegiate level 25 years and have had the opportunity to work with and play for just absolutely amazing coaches throughout that time. And it goes back to the foundation and starting with Coach McQuade and Coach Smith, and I carry those things every day, and there's times even 25 years into it I still hear their words coming out of my mouth with my athletes, and couldn't feel any more proud to be able to hear that, you know, kind of take yourself out of the moment and listen to yourself. So
impacted my softball career greatly. I think now that I'm a coach, I've really realized that I still say things that he used to say, and what I try and do is just make sure that my players know that I genuinely care, because McQuade, it was never a question for me, that he cared about me, not just on the softball field, but off the softball field too. So that is one thing definitely that he has impacted me and my coaching career.
You know, I know I'm the varsity soccer coach here, but softball was always important to me because you helped make it important to me, and always a success for me because you also helped with making it a success for me. Thanks for including me in everything that you've always done, and I really do appreciate everything that you've done for me from a professional standpoint, as also, and more importantly, from a friend standpoint.
When I realized Ed was a great coach is when my daughter played for Ed, and when he batted her 1-2 or in a 1 or 2 spot, played her at second base every game for 4 years, and I knew Ed was a great coach.
I mean, 40 years is definitely a long time, but I honestly expected him to coach longer. I didn't think he'd retire so soon. We always used to joke around about how Coach McQuade would never retire, and he always just die.
He's going to do it forever. I thought he was going to coach Liliana. Like, if he was still coaching, I thought Liliana would go there, but that's like 10 years ago. So. Maybe I think it's pretty amazing 10 years. It is amazing, for sure. He's an awesome coach.
Enjoy retirement. Cheers. I wish I was there to celebrate with you, but obviously we're thick in the season. But I will be with you in spirit, and again, just really appreciate the opportunity to play for you, Coach. I love you. Bye.
Is because I feel like Coach really shaped us as human beings too. Like, you learn so much as part of the team and just learning the discipline. Well, he was more than just a coach from Greenway.
Thank you, McQuade, for everything you did for me and my teammates throughout our time there and still today. I think people really don't understand what it takes to be a coach unless you've been a coach. And I know for myself, playing for you and then playing in college and professional league and now coaching my daughter, it's one of the hardest things you can do is coach a team and have to deal with many personalities and many different parents, and the time it takes people don't understand unless they've been a coach. So thank you.
Awesome. They say there's 5 most influential people in your lifetime, and you are definitely one of mine. So thank you for all you've done and for helping develop all these strong, confident women that we are today. Thanks, Coach. Love you.
Thank you for being such an awesome and supportive coach. Some of my greatest memories are on that Greenway softball field and include you. You will always hold a special place in my heart. Happy retirement.
You know, if I didn't laugh about it, I'd probably tear up right now because you've meant a lot to me, and I just appreciate you very much. And I know Coach Smith is looking down and wishing that we could all be together actually for your celebration. So I'll be there with you in spirit, as I said, and I love you. I appreciate you, and best of luck.
Definitely made it more than just softball. Yeah. Even though like the softball was important and he coached us and helped us, it was more about like. Here's to you, Ed McQuade. Here's to the love of your family, the joy of our grandchildren, and the adventures that I know you have planned. Congratulations, Ed.
Ed, I just want to say congratulations on retirement. Congratulations on a stellar, fantastic, unbelievable coaching career. 800 wins, that's a lot of wins. That tells me that you're pretty studly. Enjoy your retirement. Maybe now, with you retiring, come out to Norman and check out a couple of our games. But I just want to thank you for all that you've done for me and the athletes that were ahead and before me. You're great. I love you, and enjoy.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on your retirement and 40 amazing years. Melissa Kunde, class of 96. Your errand running, snack getting, paper filing, insurance card typing, babysitting, second baseman. Thank you for believing in me when I didn't always believe in myself. Thank you for reminding me there is always somebody waiting to take my spot, especially if I didn't lay down a sacrifice bunt. Thank you for teaching me those hard lessons, and I hope that you enjoy your retirement.
Happy retirement. Hope everything goes well, and I got a present for you. Take care. Love you.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived. I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Part of the way that I stare, there's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
I love working with kids, and softball has been just a perfect venue for me to work with young people, and it's every year's been fun. It's just every year, that first game of the season, I have that feeling in the bottom, in the pit of your stomach that you're excited about the season starting, and I still get up for every game, and it just keeps you going.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. We'll take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your